I think there's a resurgence of anti-Semitism because at this point in time, Europe has not yet learned how to be multicultural. And I think we're going to be part of the throes of that transformation, which must take place. Europe is not going to be the monolithic societies that they once were in the last century. Jews are going to be at the center of that. It's a huge transformation for Europe to make. They are now going into a multicultural mode, and Jews will be resented because of our leading role. But without that leading role and without that transformation, Europe will not survive.
On n'est pas les black box. Nous, on est là et on restera là. Que les gens le veuillent ou non. On est français, on est né en France, mais on reste africain, ma gueule, et on va rester. Cette question-là, mais bon, on parlait juste de foot. On bouge, je te
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jordan Report, and I am your host, Robert Jordan. Everyone, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. All right, America, it wasn't like we haven't been warned. Some of us have been out here for decades warning you these people were coming to our shores. We were paying attention to what happened in Europe, and we were paying attention to the Jews. The Jews told the Europeans they were going to flood their country with foreigners, and they did it. They told the Americans, we're going to flood your country with all these people. They were open borders people for the last 30 years. Now here they come, people. We weren't paying attention to the right people. And this is just the beginning. They've been in Europe for 20 years. They're just starting on you, America. They're just starting. Remember, there's 600 million people in the southern South American area. South of our border is 600 million people. Okay? So this could go on for decades. So there is no political solution to this. You can't vote your way out of this. You can't investigate your way out of this. The Europeans tried all that. All you have to do to know what's next is coming is pay attention to what happened in Europe. And that's all you'll have to know.
A historic step here in New York City in support of the Muslim community.
Mayor Adams announced new guidelines clearing the way for the Muslim call to prayer to ring out freely.
For too long, there has been confusion about which communities are allowed to amplify their calls to prayer. Today, we are cutting red tape and saying clearly, if you are a mosque or a house of worship of any kind, you do not have to apply for a permit to amplify your call to Friday prayer.
Under the new initiative, the call to prayer can be broadcast every Friday between 12:30 and 1:30 p.m. during the sunset prayers every evening during Ramadan.
All right, let me finish this report by saying this, America. What we're engaged in is a form of warfare. This is not politics. It's not unconventional warfare. It's not asymmetric warfare. I call it Jewish warfare because they're the only people that could think something like this up. So anything conventional like investigations and recalls, elections, all the things that the Republicans are trying to sell you are not going to work on this stuff. There's a way to handle this, but it's not the way this is being sold to you. Okay, now what's coming next? We have Europe to look back to, people, so we know what's coming next. I can tell you right off the bat, we're going to see women raped in this country. I know that from Europe because the people see this as a conquest. We are a conquered nation. And in these people's eyes, to the conqueror goes the spoils. And to them, it's women. Okay? We're going to see the desecration of churches because crosses to these people are offensive. And we saw the churches in Europe pulling down their crosses and covering them up. I'm not kidding you. Look it up. We're going to get bombed. The bombings will start. We're going to get that too. But the main and most important thing is that they're going to have political control over us. They're going to give political control over to the foreigners. And they're already starting this in New York. I'm going to go through a couple of articles real fast and we're going to get out of here. New York City Mayor Eric Adams allows non-citizens voting bill to become law. Unless a judge halts its implementation, New York City is the first major U.S. city to grant widespread local voting rights to non-citizens. People, this was January the 9th, 2022. So they were already on this even before all these people showed up. And the line is not going to stop, people. It's going to be millions more of these people coming. So as they gain the numbers, they're going to get more political power. The Democrats or the Jews is just going to hand it to them. Okay? More than 800,000 non-citizens and dreamers in New York City will have access to the ballot box and could vote in municipal elections as early as next year, after Mayor Eric Adams allowed legislation to automatically become law Sunday. Okay? Now, that didn't happen. It's unconstitutional, but these people don't care. Here's the latest on it on July 23rd, 2022. This was the latest report. They were appealing the judge's ruling that prohibits non-citizens from voting. Okay? New York City's left-leaning leaders are taking another swing at trying to legalize voting for non-citizens in local elections. Okay? So just think if another million or so people shows up. They'll be in control of the politics. That's what's coming our way, people. Now, we've done everything we possibly could to get ourselves killed, people, in this country. We're listening to the very wrong people. The people that are telling these things, they're very, very wrong. They're not telling you how to get out of this. The Don Banginos, the Steve Bannons, and even Trump. If you keep listening to those people, as the old folks used to say when I was young, you're going to wake up dead.
For too long, there has been confusion about which communities are allowed to amplify their calls to prayer. Today, we are cutting red tape and saying clearly, if you are a mosque or a house of worship of any kind, you do not have to apply for a permit to amplify your call to Friday prayer.
As a melodious reminder for Muslims to come together and engage in prayer. Its captivating melody has a profound impact on the hearts and minds of those who hear it.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.